Obnoxious announcer, surly host, Katrina Gets Manwiched. Tell us what you really fucking think. Mean reviews and more coming up on the Fraudcast.
In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud. In the States or abroad, no one's safe from the talkers of fraud.
The following goes beyond the show and beyond the gram to bring you all the fraud that's fit to be uncovered. This is the Fraudcast, and now, here are your fraudcasters, Hanekawa and Katrina.
So we've gathered the whole crew today. We've got, your host, Katrina. We've got your co-host, Hanekawa. We've got your producer and voice, Hetero Life Mate. And we have special contributor, Agent C. And we're all in the house because we're doing a special episode this week for you guys. Because there was no episode of 90 Day this week, we have decided we're going to read mean reviews. So if you guys know Jimmy Kimmel, how he has like celebrities read mean tweets, right? Yeah. Right. So that's what we're going to do, except these aren't tweets. These are like reviews from Apple iTunes or DMs that we've gotten or comments one way or the other. And one way or another, we're all implicated in these. So we're going to take turns reading these to you. But I think we should start off with what a lot of people I know have questions with is the Trump travel ban that concerns Nigeria. Now, the last week on the podcast, we didn't have this information because it hadn't dropped yet. And it has, in the intervening time, the information has come out. So I'm going to turn it over to Agent C to explain that to us.
All right. Hi, everybody. On Friday night, the Trump administration announced an update to their travel ban, which added 6 new countries to the already existing 7 countries that were implicated in the 2017 version of the travel ban. This most recent edition added, as I mentioned, 6 countries to the list. Those countries being Burma, also known as Myanmar, Eritrea, Nigeria, Kyrgyzstan, Sudan, and Tanzania. One thing to keep in mind about these new countries is that unlike the previous iteration of the travel ban, which made citizens from those countries ineligible for all types of visas, this new list is restricted only to immigrant visas, and for 2 of them, Sudan and Tanzania, it's limited just to the diversity visa program. However, for Burma, Eritrea, Nigeria, and Kyrgyzstan, all immigrant visa categories are now subject to the travel ban, which means that visas are not permitted to be issued unless a waiver is granted, and as we have heard, perhaps, those waivers are a bit hard in coming.
Okay, so just to be clear, the diversity visa program, I know we've talked about this before, but that is the green card lottery. That's what Jasmine's sister came over on from Finland. Now, from these countries, those are affected and that those will no longer be?
That's right. The diversity visa program for all 6, but for Sudan and Tanzania, it's just their diversity visa program that's suspended. All other categories of immigrant visas, per the presidential proclamations, are still permitted to be issued. As well, tourist visas, or what we call in the biz non-immigrant visas, are still permitted for issuance. Someone had asked me on Reddit, where I wrote a post about this,
which we also copied on Frauded by TLC.
And then someone posted to the Sissy Squad. That thing's making the rounds.
It's going around like the clap, you guys.
That's right. Someone had asked, could Michael apply for a tourist visa given that non-immigrant visas are not implicated in the travel ban? To which I replied, no. There is absolutely no way Michael can apply for and receive a tourist visa.
Can you explain why?
He has a recently denied K-1, which, although technically classified as non-immigrant, is for the purpose of immigration. Therefore, from the perspective of a visa officer, he has immigrant intent. And someone with immigrant intent is not allowed to be issued a visa for non-immigrant purposes to the United States.
Gotcha. Now, we've talked in some regards about waiver situations when we discussed Omar and Avery. For those who didn't listen to that episode or didn't, missed it or don't quite understand it, can you explain in terms of Angela and Michael what that means? And then I have another question for you after that.
Sure. So the original 2017 version of the travel ban put in place a provision that would allow someone to get a waiver to the travel ban provided they satisfied a 3-part test. That 3-part test consists of a undue degree of hardship, a non-threat to the national security of the United States, and then promoting the national interest in some way.
So in layman's terms or stupid people terms like myself, can you explain what those mean?
It means
like in the national interest or hardship.
Right. So basically, it means not issuing the visa is really hard on the person. The person is a nice guy, and it's really good for us if they come.
Okay, so why wouldn't any of those categories apply to Michael?
Well, he doesn't appear to be suffering abjectly in Nigeria. You could argue that it's not creating an undue hardship for him to be in Nigeria while Angela's in Georgia. I think most viewers of the show would argue that actually the undue hardship would come from him going to Georgia. And you could also, obviously we're very entertained by Michael, but I think you might struggle to make the objective national interest case for him coming. Although he's a really big Trump fan, so that might in and of itself be in the national interest as far as the administration is concerned.
Okay, so and then we had Paul and Carini out on Instagram. He was all over the place. And Paul, if you're listening, you know I love you in all your weird, strange glory. But I think you were wrong on this, and you were spreading a lot of misinformation. He was responding to a lot of answers to people on Angela's Instagram account, where he was saying waiver's not going to be a problem. They're good as gold. It's not going to be any issue.
That's hard to say. The statistics on the number of waivers issued is very difficult to come by. I've heard it's as low as 5%, as high as 17% issuance. But typically when an agency comes out with a new program that allows an exception to a category, it takes a while for the agency to figure out exactly what the criteria are and to regularize those criteria and get everybody used to doing it. Agencies, especially when they're worried about covering their ass, are going to take the safe route as often as they can. And I think that with the travel ban, they quite haven't found that sweet spot where they know the criteria that they're going to feel comfortable issuing on yet. It's also because they have to put together essentially a package and send it back and have it go through an interagency possibly an interagency process. I'm not going to say that with 100% certainty. Interagency, by the way, means more than one agency of the government.
It's okay. If you're wrong, I'm sure they'll let us know about it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get more hate mail.
Oh, my goodness.
So I'd actually heard that when they started filming Angela and Michael, like they had expected him to get his visa. And so him getting denied kind of threw a wrench in their plans. And I don't know that they have any specific plans for them to continue to be on the show. Or if they're going to do like what they do with Darcy and they just follow Darcy around with filming whatever she does. If they're going to do that with Angela, I don't know. From what I understand from my sources at production, whether they have any plans to do that at this point. I know there's a lot of people who find them to be good television. There's a lot of people who don't like them. I can say that after 4 seasons of Angela and Michael, I'm kind of over them, so I'm ready to move on and get new couples.
Ditto.
Thoughts?
Ditto. I think Michael could definitely come over on talent. I mean, like, the talent that he has sustained with being with Angela for the past, 5 years?
Yeah, I'm not sure that forbearance is the same thing as talent in this case. I think those visas are meant for people like Liberace.
Well, there was edible chocolate body paint.
Oh.
An artist?
That might qualify as performance art, but let's not think about it too hard.
Thank you very much. That was very informative. We are going to move on now to our next segment. We do not have a social media roundup for you today, so sorry. Not a lot actually happened on social media this week, anyway. So
right.
Yeah. So What?
Sports ball
sports
was on
ball.
social media.
Sports ball. Hey, I'm a huge football fan. We're big football fans in this house.
Well, I'm not sure why you said nothing happened on social media. Jesse did tell us that his trips around the world were disrupted by coronavirus.
Oh, right. Jesse. I forget he still exists.
Most of us wish he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. The coronavirus that it's like equal to the flu about right now, right? Doesn't have the same mortality
It's
rate
not
as
even close.
influenza.
Flu still kills it. Yeah, flu. If you look at the numbers, flu still has affected way more people than coronavirus.
Yeah.
Not downplaying coronavirus. Coronavirus looks very serious, but the flu kills way more people than coronavirus has right now.
I think it's the fear that it's an unknown virus that's spreading, and we had, bird flu and swine flu.
Just on
So it's
Jesse, someone on Reddit claimed that the picture Jesse used for his flight scare was he actually stole from a newspaper.
It's possible.
Probably.
I mean, if someone, you could reverse image search it, see. But I don't care about Jesse that much. So let's move on.
The queen has spoken.
That's right. It's my show, damn it. And you guys have some opinions about me. Some of you guys really fucking hate me, and you let me know. And we have.
You need to save yours for last.
Well, we're gonna take turns.
Okay. Oh, we're taking turns. All right.
Yeah, I think you're gonna go first, actually, with this first one.
Oh, I am?
With this first one here. Yeah.
All right.
So we're going to move on. Now, so a lot of these were left on iTunes reviews. And in fact, a bunch of these, usually, they come in groups. So, I don't know if you all getting together and having a Let's Hate Katrina party, but they all come in at the same time. So we're going to be reading them and the usernames. Now, these are... you can't find them on Instagram under these names. So if for some reason you can or whatever, do not go brigade against them. People have their opinions and they're allowed to express them. Okay.
We're allowed to make fun of them.
Yeah.
Or enjoy them. Not make fun of them, enjoy them.
You could say that. I'm going to go hunt them down. So you want me to start?
Yes, that first one.
I think
This one right
the
here.
first one should be read in the announcer voice, though.
Oh, you want me to do that? Well, okay, let me preface this.
go.
People, by saying that my role initially in this whole podcast venture was to be the supportive loved one who knows a thing or two about editing audio, and then that was it. And then I kind of got thrust into more of a role than I wanted to initially, right? Is that fair to say?
No.
No, not fair to say
Thrusted.
at all. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Okay, great. Here's what people have to say about me. Okay, so you say I should do this in the announcer voice, Hanekawa?
Hell yes. Let's
All right,
go.
Here we go. All right. Hang on. Let me take a little sip here.
Oh, my gosh. See, this is what people complain about, and we've seen it in the other reviews. You'll hear all about
Now
it.
he's gargling and he's
Okay.
doing scales.
Tiger face. Lion face. Okay, here we go. From the obnoxious announcer to the surly host and guest, there's nothing to like within this podcast. It's like listening to the angry and obsessive nerds talk about the popular kids in high school. Thank you, T. Wheats via Apple Podcasts, for that lovely anecdote.
Oh, yes.
So I'm obnoxious. You guys are surly.
And our guests.
And we're nerds.
And well, you are nerds.
We're the unpopular kids talking about the cheerleaders.
Were you a popular kid in high school, Hanekawa?
Was I popular?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I was a cheerleader.
But I was a nerd in high school, but I wasn't picked on.
Okay, that's good.
Maybe because I was mean. I don't know. Resting bitch face scared away the bullies. I don't know.
All right, Hanekawa, can you do this next one?
Oh, you gave me the big one, man.
Well, it's your name's in it, the first line.
All right.
Read it in whatever voice you feel so drawn.
My normal voice. All right. I've been waiting so patiently for Hanekawa, to become more comfortable to talk. She's so timid and surprising she's a podcaster. I assume she's intimidated, but it getting to be so boring listening to all of this. I do like Agent C, and he is very informative. Maybe there needs to be a panel. When it's 3 contributors, it's a little more bearable, but I feel maybe a panel of 4 needs to be explored.
Well, here I am.
Well, you're in luck. Drink some coffee beforehand, or whiskey. Low energy, making me want to sleep. Another note, when they talk, I think they need to be a little less cerebral and a little more laid back and use more humor, casual language. I'll keep listening, but very tempted to skip altogether and just keep up with the frauded IG.
What was mean about that? I thought it was a great review.
It's actually, halfway constructive.
Sometimes we do need a little more pep, but, I'm sucking on caffeine from 6 a.m., so.
I don't know who that one was written by.
Yeah, that one doesn't have it on there.
Yeah.
Sir Anonymous.
All right, this is fun. Who's next?
Next.
Agency?
All right. This one comes from a very astute listener named Julie RN 197120004. I assume that's her serial number.
Well, or it looks like a date of birth and
maybe a date of death.
Oh, no.
And the title.
And the title is Negative Life Sucker, 1 star. Katrina and her hetero life mate are painfully awkward. I've unsubscribed today as it's sickening listening to them bash others. Not sure how she can stay sober with that kind of misery in life.
Am I bringing the misery? Or
I'm just that one confuses me. That's one of the several that confuse me because I don't understand misery. I don't understand, but I mean, maybe there's misery happening between us that I'm not seeing.
Do I bring you misery?
You don't bring me misery.
Okay. Well, we'll have to try really hard to be less awkward.
Okay.
All right.
We're very awkward together.
We are.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So this is another one. It says, it's called Stay in Your Lane. Tin Man's Heart via Apple Podcasts has this to say. The new co-host is great. That's you, Hanekawa.
Good job.
Frauded, on the other hand, that's me, needs to learn to stay in her lane. She shares too much of her own personal opinion about stuff beyond 90 Day Fiancé. This is not the forum. I don't care what the tea is when there's so much other junk to sort through.
Oh, my God. Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Okay. This is your freaking show.
Uh-huh.
If you decide one week, you and Hanekawa go, you know what? Screw 90 Day. Let's talk about our favorite socks. Then that's your freaking prerogative to do that.
Yeah.
You guys should have a show about socks.
Right.
There you go.
People tend to, so like I'm the only one that does this kind of like, we're the only podcast that sort of uncovers this stuff. So if people want the tea, they have to sort of put up with all of it. And yeah, so they hate listen, I guess. I don't know. We're not required listening. Get your tea somewhere else, I guess. I don't know. Okay.
My turn now?
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to read the ones that you texted me?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Here we go. This is from RealTV122 on iTunes. And they wrote this, by the way, Hanekawa, on Christmas Day. So this is what's going on in this person's life on Christmas Day. I've been listening since the first episode. The information is good, but the interviews need work. The conversations with the guests tend to be very awkward. No more hetero life mate. He just isn't funny. This podcast needs direction and editing to make it work. Just doesn't flow. Also, listeners don't care about cast members from past seasons. They aren't relevant anymore. Let it go.
Wow.
There you have it. I'm not funny.
They're not funny, and they complain about the editing, so that's like a twofer.
That's a double whammy on me.
Since when does no one care about past season cast?
Well,
that person doesn't care.
Well, I was going to say, I'm glad I got the memo on that, because I've gotten, I don't know how many questions about past seasons.
Right?
Particularly Nickel and Azin.
Oh, my fucking God.
If I had a nickel for every time I was asked about Nickel and Azin, I wouldn't have to do this podcast. I'd be able to pay for it.
All right, it's my turn. And this is really fun, I should say, Tipsy, because I can't read worth shit. Okay, so...
She's drinking whiskey, y'all.
Gigagachi.
It's been that kind of a Monday for her.
It was that type of Monday. Gigagachi says, soliciting bulk 5-star reviews, W. Are we swindling with cake on this one? All right. Please do not trust these reviews as reliable. The podcast creator is currently running a giveaway campaign on Instagram to solicit bulk 5-star reviews. It is restricted to 5-star reviews only. The questionable ethics are disappointing and also ironic for a podcast created to expose misleading or deceptive behavior in media. Can I once start by saying that every podcast I listen to, especially for 90 Day, say, please leave us a 5-star review?
Right.
I'm just saying.
Every single podcast does.
Like,
and God forbid I give you free shit for doing so.
My
Well, a lot
God,
of them,
everyone
not
was
only-
trying to get Tim's freaking boots.
Well, not only do a lot of them ask for 5-star reviews, a lot of them will tell you don't leave a review if you didn't think it was worth 5 stars.
Exactly. They'll say, hey, message us personally instead of leaving a bad review. I'm like, leave a bad review. We'll read them on a podcast and have fun. But we do like 5-star reviews.
We do. It helps.
As a matter of fact, if you enjoy this podcast, please leave a 5-star review.
Exactly. All right.
Why don't you read another one of yours?
So
direct. So when I announced on my Frauded Night Live that they're going to do this for this upcoming episode and that Agent C was going to join us, I think somebody said, "Why would Agent C receive mean comments? He's literally telling us the facts of what's out there, like the rules and regulations. Why would anybody say mean things?" Oh. How you underestimate people, because they have some feelings.
People do have feelings. I'm going to share a couple of them with you right now. The first one's a very short one off Instagram. This was on the post that was done when I was discussing why I thought that Juliana was giving us some very telltale signs of human trafficking. And this comes from they're using a pseudonym, so I don't feel bad reading their name. World Travel Love. Thank you, Captain Obvious Visa Officer. That puzzled me a little bit because if the signs of human trafficking are really obvious to you, you might want to think about what you're doing with your life. You might want to process that.
Tried to like this, but now Olivia Kitty Leah on iTunes says, "I wanted to like this so bad. I really wanted the goss. But this one is insufferable. The conversation is way too heavy for the topic. Where's the fun? All the pregnant pauses and stifled thoughts seem to be geared towards not offending rather than just having a free-flowing convo. Maybe more people should be invited in the conversation, like fellow podcasters or up-and-coming comedians, to loosen things up a bit. It's trash TV, not a court case. It's agonizing, and unfortunately, I'm unsubscribing now."
Lost another one.
Oh, well. I'm insufferable.
All right, here we go. I have one. This is from Working K9, and this is a review on iTunes. It says, "I wanted to love it. I really, really, really did. And the episodes with HLM were pretty funny. Thanks. But Kate and Hanekawa,"
Hanekawa.
I guess you're Kate, by the way.
And she's Hanekawa.
You're Hanekawa. "Just are very awkward together. There's no flow, lots of stops, starts, and awkward silences, and talking over one another. We'll be unsubscribing unless there's a drastic change." I just like to point out that she liked the episodes with me in them. So
okay.
That's why I read that one. That's the theme of this, right?
Right.
All is well in the world. Yep.
Yep. Okay. Hanekawa.
Henny like Hennessy Kawa. There was one fun one, but I don't know if I.
Pregnant pause. Dead air.
Pregnant pause. It's the Skype, guys. It's the Skype. All right. Too Slow by Ms. Liz W. Interesting info. This is me not being able to read. The anecdotes aren't as interesting as the podcaster thinks. Also, the conversation with the sidekick are too long and not interesting. Tighten this up into 45-minute podcast, and it'll be so much better. And the host says okay and right a lot.
So that falls into the category of people just wanting me to deliver the gossip and tea, and that's it, without anything else.
It would literally be like a 10-minute podcast.
How boring would that be?
Right?
These are the same people
You would just
that
get on
complain-
and be like, Tim's a fraud. He sucks. They met in Mexico. Thanks, guys.
Right? But these are the same people who complain when I post a picture of like snack pack and lunchbox on my Instagram because, as somebody once said, why am I looking at dogs on an Instagram fan page?
You cannot, like, as quick as people, like, knew who I was and as quick as people forgot, I had lots of questions like, who cares about your face?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
I don't know.
I like your
Anyway.
face. No, your face is fine.
It's all I have, so I got to work with it,
Right. All right. Whose turn is it? Mine?
I lost track.
Okay.
I'm having so much fun here.
This one is fun. There's no stars. Maybe they gave 1 star. I don't know. The person who wrote it is asterisk rip off ! @ ampersand $! That's the username via Apple Podcasts.
How do you remember that when you're typing it in?
I'm really impressed she knew ampersand. Like, most people
smart.
just say the and symbol.
It says LOL out ! Oh boy, the host still continues to say that Jenny knew Submit was married and says either way there was no right or wrong answer. What? All caps. Of course there is. Either she knew or did not know. Bunch of symbols.
It's their username.
Out. Deuces.
Deuces, yo.
Deuces.
So
Isn't that a song?
disagreeing on an opinion apparently is the cause is the basis for bad reviews now. Okay, good to know.
Dude, don't fuck with Jenny. She didn't know. And even when
All
she
right.
did, she's still with him. So.
And my recent gossip told me that their upcoming season of The Other Way that's going to be focused around Sumit getting a divorce.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, sorry. There's the T in the middle of, other stuff.
Surprise team.
Hidden nuggets of tea. Surprise!
All right, this next one comes from Reddit, and this came from a recent thread I did. In fact, the one about Angela, Michael, and the travel ban. And the person says, "I apologize if this comes off as rude, but have the mods verified that the OP, that stands for Original Poster, claims of being a quote-unquote former visa officer? I've never heard of this occupation title in the USA. OP's user history doesn't offer any evidence of being in this career and isn't providing any significant information that news outlets aren't already providing. This could all be a fraud from an imposter. Also, I don't like that OP put their email in the post and is requesting DMs. They might be charging for services.
They might be.
I'm not saying you are full of shit. I'm just asking if the mods or anyone has made an effort to verify if your claims are true. Are you scamming people for money by offering legal advice that you are not qualified to offer?"
Well, are you?
Well, I'm not a lawyer, and I haven't claimed to be.
Are you charging people for your services?
No. I also like how they say I'm requesting DMs. Typically, in my posts, I say, if you want to DM, you are welcome to.
God forbid you're offering an outlet for them to ask further questions.
That's not how I read it.
How did you read it?
He's requesting DMs and trying to charge me for legal advice.
Oh, well, yeah.
I am going to send you a bill, though.
Well, we're going to charge you for that Diet Dr. Pepper you're drinking.
Oh, my God. I also like the fact that the person is convinced that I'm BSing them because they've never heard of the title of visa officer.
Right. Well, what is the official title?
Officially, a person who adjudicates visas is a consular officer.
So if I told you that the consular officer was going to be on the show, would you guys even have any fucking clue what that does or what it meant or what relevance it had to the show?
They would say, it's the Fraudcast, and he's a consular officer. He's going to lie to us.
Right. So, calling him the visa officer versus consular officer is, to make it easier to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Someone would just mistake it as, like, consummation officer or something.
Do we need officers for that?
In some countries, yes.
Okay. All right, this one might be my favorite one. This was written by Belle de Georgiacs. and it says, Katrina and hetero life mate are audibly, painfully awkward. That's two people that say we're awkward.
We're very awkward.
It seems as if she doesn't even like him with the way she speaks to him and doesn't engage with his corny jokes. That's because she hears my corny jokes 24/7, you guys. Also, the begging for reviews and merch purchases is just tacky. Podcasting isn't for everyone. Certainly not for these two. All right. Well, this is the 17th and final episode of the Fraudcast.
Yeah, sorry.
We're going to hang it up after this.
You really shouldn't be. You shouldn't ever work in broadcasting or on air at all.
No, it's definitely not a career for me.
Definitely not a career path for you.
20 years in, I should probably find something else to do.
And in merch, like, sorry that I'm asking. I don't know. Am I asking for people to buy merch? No, I'm telling you, it's there if you want to buy it. You know, podcasting ain't free.
And if you do want to buy it, you can go to, what's the website?
It's not on the website anymore.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
We pulled it down. We're rebranding, and we're going to put some new stuff up. But I do still have the swag bag.
There was a corny joke she wasn't engaging with, Hanekawa. She doesn't like me.
Hashtag buy my shitty merch. It's going to be online soon.
Yes. Buy my shitty merch. And
Why
you
don't
can
like me?
you can still get the swag bags for $30, which includes priority shipping if you want those.
Why don't you like me?
You're corny dad jokes.
Oh, okay.
All right, Hanekawa.
All right, I have two because one is really short.
Okay.
The first one is via iTunes by Mary Goobbbb. Can't listen anymore.
That's it.
Is it because you have to go to the doctor's office? Is it
There's so many reasons, right?
bedtime? Is it because you arrived at your destination and it's time to get out of your car? What? You need more.
What is it? Why can't you listen anymore? What's happening?
I feel like I've been left hanging.
She could be in danger right now, guys. Why are we
You're
laughing?
being attacked by a bear. I mean, what's going on?
Ah, right. Okay. The second one, because of the source, I'm not going to read the name, but this is one that I come upon many times. And it was in response to someone letting them know that I was the co-host, the new co-host on the Fraudcast. And the response was, I know she's the frauded co-host. I can't listen to them more than 10 minutes, though. I just don't understand how she didn't even want her own picture shown. Her face was blurred out, but all of a sudden she's taking advantage of the 90-day fame thanks to that podcast. Just weird overall.
Yeah, those are my favorite too.
I think it just like wets people's panties that I like a show that my ex-husband happened to stumble into.
Right. And that you're capitalizing off of this fame. And like you've said, like, who wants to be famous for being Benjamin's ex-wife? Really, you guys?
Right.
Seriously?
And most people forgot. Like this past like wave of, I don't know, so many people messaged me going, wait, you're Ben's ex? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. We had to clarify that because you debunked the bride price mafia story.
Yes.
For those of you guys who haven't heard this, there was a post out there that allegedly Akini's family sent somebody from LA to Phoenix to beat Ben up because he stopped paying on the bride price.
Right.
And Hanekawa debunked it because she talks to Ben. In fact, I was privy to part of a conversation with them. I heard him. He was fine. He had not been beaten up. There was no bride price mafia engaged in beating him up. And so she debunked it, but people didn't believe her, and we had to explain why she knew the information.
I mean, and I debunked as much as I can. Like, if he's not paying the bride price, I don't know that personally. But I do know that all his limbs are intact and his nose hasn't been broken recently. So whether or not the bride price mafia is still after him.
Because that's a thing.
Right.
All right. This one is from THTX. I'm not sure. From Apple iTunes. Too slow and no fun. I am a huge 90-Day fan, and I love the podcasts that recognize it for what it is. Silly, laughable, bizarre, light fare. This podcast takes it all too seriously. The host acts like she's on Confronting OJ. Please try to inject some humor, personality, turn of phrase, anything, please. Which is funny when you compare that to This next one. Oh, see, no. Okay. Here's another one. Could be better. Overall, I enjoyed the information provided on this podcast. It's good and gives a great insight on what's not being presented on the show. Well, thank you. But what I can't get past is the constant giggling after every sentence. It's like listening to a conversation between two teenagers. It's really annoying. If they were actually saying something remotely humorous, then yeah, laugh all you want. But it's literally just a regular sentence. Ugh, stop, please. So that one's right after the other one where we take it too seriously.
So, what does this tell you? What am I always telling you about these reviews?
You're never as good as the people tell you, and you're never as bad as the people tell you.
Exactly.
All right.
I like that advice. That's quite nice.
Yeah, thank you. All right, here is, let's see. Oh, God, I lost it. Here we go. Katrina is terrific. That's you, babe.
Aw.
Katrina is terrific, but the hetero co-host has got to go.
That's one of my favorites.
He constantly interrupts with stupid and usually unrelated comments, and I had to delete an episode when he went on a ridiculous Darcy Jesse impersonation. I love that impersonation so much.
Can we hear it?
I don't know Darcy. I never met Darcy. I never heard anybody named Darcy. I don't know how to spell Darcy. I've never smelled Darcy. I never touched Darcy. I love
No
Darcy,
one ever
though.
will say they never smelled Darcy.
All right.
That's all I have. The rest of the people love me, apparently.
Oh, yeah, okay. Hanekawa?
I have the best one so far, if
Okay.
you're ready. From
Yeah.
Instagram. Dina Cash 7 says, in all caps, why? Stop telling us shit we haven't seen. It really pisses me off if you can tell.
You guys start every episode saying it's a spoiler podcast. Almost every episode. You have been. I
No, it was
noticed.
on Instagram, something I posted.
Oh, my bad.
But I'm a spoiler page. Sorry.
I even was like, maybe we should do a disclaimer.
Yeah, I don't do disclaimers on my page because I'm a spoiler
Anyone
page.
that
funny-
follows you should
Yeah.
know. Like, for me, I have people that I know are just, like, following me to follow me. They're 90-day fans, whatever. I put spoiler alerts on mine.
Right.
People thank me. But if they are following you, they know who you are and they know what you post.
They don't, because even when I do lives, they're like, who are you? What are you doing? What show were you on?
I know. Who is this? Are you a cast member? What season were you on?
Like, you're following me. Like, shouldn't you know that?
They
I
just
try
see
not to be an
TLC or
asshole,
90 Day and follow. They're just like...
What's funny is that comment was made on an Instagram post that didn't have any spoilers in it.
Someone was just triggered. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
They were triggered.
Okay, I have one. Presenters not great.
Oh, that means they're from England or somewhere in Europe because that's what they call
Podcasters?
hosts. They call them presenters.
Okay.
Over in Europe.
Good behind-the-scenes info and gossip. My only complaint is that the presenter sounds out of breath quite a bit, or that she just swallowed a gulp of saliva. She seems quite new to podcasting, so hopefully that will get better as time goes by. Well, which is true. I am new. I think this should have stayed as an Instagram account / blog. The host still does a lot of saliva gulping after longish sentences, and very often seems to be short of breath. Hanekawa laughs at nothing, and then, all caps, literally nothing.
Literally fucking nothing.
Laugh. Laugh on command.
Are you even awake over there?
Need some coffee before the show.
If people knew how much coffee I drank, they wouldn't give me that suggestion. Like, honestly, it's a lot.
All right, what else we got?
I have one from it's BINNINNNNNH. And the subject of this review is just called Sad. It's a 1-star review.
Sad.
So boring. Who wants to hear this lady talk? Ugh, so sad.
Really? Who wants to hear this lady
I
talk?
sometimes think the same thing.
Right? Do we even like each other?
Apparently
Obviously not.
Not according
Your
to some
hetero
reviews.
partner.
These are great. But no, I mean, seriously, though, there are a lot of great reviews on here, too.
Yes.
We're just having some fun with the bad ones. And like I said, it's fine. It's fine. If you want to get your rocks off and go leave a bad review, go for it. If that's what's going to make you smile at the end of the day, by all means. It doesn't hurt us.
Is there any more? Do you have any more?
I'm out. I'm out of hate.
Yeah. As I said,
Well, you're
everyone else
new. You're new to the show, so
Yeah.
everyone else loves me, so I'm fine.
Do you have any more?
I don't think so. The only one that I see left is the one from Slow Saturday Night.
Okay, I've got well, why don't you read that one, and then I'm going to read this other one.
Okay. This one's a 3-star review that just says review. Get to the scoop. Not interested in what you let your kids do or not do on the internet.
Another one that falls in the category of just wants the tea without anything else.
You know, I'll say this. In my line of work, I've had experience with, long-form talk shows, broadcast talk shows, not podcasts, not just podcasts. But you're always going to have those people that don't want to hear about the host's personal life, don't want to hear about what's going on outside of what the main theme of the show is. And to those people, I say maybe you're better suited reading an article online, because that's going to just kind of get to the nitty gritty. This medium, the talk medium, is kind of set up so that you get that type of thing. Because the idea here, and this is not really smoke and mirrors here, the idea here is Hanekawa and Katrina are your friends, right? You guys are your friends.
Mm-hmm.
You're their internet friends who dish on this television show that you guys love to watch. So how do you get to know your friends? You get to find out other things about them. We know about the dogs, Lunchbox and Snack Pack. We know about baby frauded and
baby step frauded.
Yeah, and Hanekawa stuff too. So that's part of the deal. That's like broadcasting and podcasting 101. So if you don't dig that part of it, then this medium maybe is just not for you.
I mean, who wants to hear this lady talk anyway?
Right. Ugh. Sad.
Right. Sad.
God. Like totally. Oh.
You're laughing at nothing. Literally nothing.
Fucking nothing, damn it.
This one, I'll close out these the mean reviews with this one. Good info, terrible host. This is by YLLWFLME via Apple Podcasts. There's a lot of good information, so I hate listening to this podcast. The host is insufferable, and there are a lot of awkward pauses with dead air. Also, hetero life mate refers to a non-sexual relationship with best friend for life, not your romantic life partner. Her misusage of this term pretty much sums up the podcast. She has info, but doesn't quite understand how to communicate her knowledge. So there we have it.
Can we just call hetero life mate whatever the fuck we want?
Right.
Okay, just wondering.
You're just the hetero co-host, which means a gay one probably would have been better.
I don't disagree with you about that.
Bring in the 90-day gays. Where are they?
Right, we're Matt and Jake.
Yes.
Well, I smell a crossover episode.
We are working on it. We are working on it now that Jake is Poodle's back from China, full of the coronavirus. Not really, just kidding. He doesn't have the coronavirus, but we've been talking about it for a while, so we'll do something like that. For those who don't know the origins of Hetero Life Mate, or Jay and Silent Bob of Kevin Smith, film director, Jay and Silent Bob, it came from that, and we have like a history there. So it's kind of an inside joke of why we call each other Hetero Life Mates, because we have no intention of getting married, blah, 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 which apparently people have a real problem with too, because I've seen comments about that, the fact that I call him my boyfriend or whatever. I mean, at 45 years old.
Because we're in our 40s. Who wants to have boyfriends and girlfriends?
Right. I'm 45.
Right. Exactly. And if you say partner, then people are going to think you have a girlfriend at home, which isn't bad, but you're like trying to...
If I'm trying to
accurately represent
the relationship, right.
Exactly.
So, it's, not everyone's going to be happy. It doesn't matter, Now, all of that said, there are a ton more good reviews. So we've been out since like October, end of September. Oh no, October, I think we launched. And aside from that one first episode, we've been, which Talker of Shits was on. It's been, I had to struggle to figure out what's going on. There were some reviews. There's a lot of reviews that had some constructive stuff in there talking about, well, it's a new podcast. Hopefully they'll find their feet, and they just lose the host, and we're trying to figure it out. There are a ton more great reviews that you guys seem to really like what we're doing. than there are these bad ones. We're just having fun with it. There's no episode of 90 Day this week, so we're just trying to have a little fun with it. It's all good. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. There's room out here for everybody. Go listen to some. If you want a podcast and I'm not your shtick, then go find another one. It's fine.
Well said. Just like I said in my live that I deleted the other night. I'm a serial deleter of lives, but
yes.
Sometimes it's like, people are going to say what they're going to say. A lot of people say things just because they have the protectiveness of the internet. Mm-hmm. But there's also a good mix of people that support and enjoy what we do. So you take that and you keep on keeping on with that. So
yeah. And for the constructive stuff about me sounding out of breath and things like that, hey, I'm a work in progress. It's progress, not perfection. I'm working on it.
Yeah, you literally are new at this.
Right.
Right.
It
makes sense to say that, right?
She's been doing these for about 5 minutes now, so we're getting there.
Right. And I'm used to talking about first-person shooters and MMORPGs and, aggro and things that people would be like, what? So...
Have you ever even podcasted before? You're so boring.
God damn it. I don't even know. I think I had this podcast that I was on since like 2016, but I'm not sure. Like, I just laugh at nothing on that podcast too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really not that long.
I'm just completely insufferable, and you don't even know what you're talking about.
Where am I?
So I think that's what we got for you guys today. Anything else?
Nope.
All right.
Tune into Friday Night Live. Don't forget that. You may wind up going into the bathroom with Katrina.
Hey.
Oh, no.
That never happened.
Oh, right.
It was deleted. It didn't exist.
It didn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about, you guys. There was only 2 hours of Friday Night Live last night.
Oh, that was so funny.
And so fraud. I am Frauded by TLC on Instagram. You can find me Frauded by TLC on Twitter also, although I'm still Twitter dumb. I'm still not there that much. I've tried. You can find the Facebook group is The Fraudcasters. You can come join us there. We also have a Patreon, which is patreon.com/thefraudcast, which we review and recap other reality shows, non-90 Day related. We're currently doing Married at First Sight and Life After Lockup. So we're talking about those. Yep. If you're interested in that, we have that available. You can go to the Patreon, and that also comes with access to a Discord server, and created just brand spanking new today is the Facebook group for the Patreon to have our own conversations. And Hetero Lifemate joins in, but I don't know why, because we're completely awkward, and I don't even like you, so.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully on the Facebook group, Agency will be joining us, hopefully.
We'll see.
Maybe. He likes to stay on Reddit, so you guys can find him there.
I can also be persuaded to join Discord.
Oh, we can get him into the Discord group. Maybe
That's
we can get him over to the Facebook. Where can they find you?
I lurk on the 90 Day Fiancé subreddit. You can look for my Ask Me Anything style threads. Anything that says Ask a Visa Officer or the Visa Officer Responds. Those are threads I've created. If you have a question about the visa process, whether on the show or with regards to your own situation, you're welcome to send me an email at askthevisaofficer@gmail.com. That's askthevisaofficer, all one word, @gmail.com.
There you go, soliciting DMs, offering advice, charging for services that you may not even be qualified to give.
Come and get frauded, guys.
Come and get your fraud on. Come get frauded. And on that note, you guys, until next time, we are the Fraudcast, and we are dumpster diving so you don't have to.
The Fraudcast has been produced and edited by yours truly. Art by Sarah Dawdy. Music written, produced, and performed by Umami. Segment producer at iHeart Reality TV Shows. Further assistance provided by many unnamed fraud consultants.